What's up? It's the Brunch Breakdown. Didi out here in Los Angeles. Chris and Dan are in Pittsburgh. It has been a minute, boys, since we've all been together. How
How
is
about
everyone?
that?
Yeah, on a day like today, boys, I would just like to take a second right here at the beginning of the episode, um, just to share with you something that I was taught at a very young age. Okay, and I want to hear if you were taught the same thing. A wise, not one of my parents actually, but a wise stranger once told me that if it's brown, flush it down. And I felt like that's an important lesson for everybody to know on a day like today. Obviously, by the time this episode is published, the outcome of today's football game will be determined. But I was taught that at a young age in Three Rivers Stadium by actually a woman who came to the game with a toilet paper roll that said Cleveland on it.
Wow. Dedication. That was the mayor, former mayor of Pittsburgh, actually. I believe that might.
That was Sophie Maslow. Yeah, she was just.
She was there, section 312, just like the rest of us.
Anyway, yes, you're right. It's been a while. Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm back. I'm back to insert more tangents on today's episode.
All right. Well, today on the show, everybody's been talking about their Spotify Wrapped. Well, we're going to wrap our lives, not music. We're going to do some random things in our lives. I can't wait to hear that from you guys. We got the weirdest things we saw on the internet this week. Chris has a follow-up topic that we don't know about, so we're going to be surprised. And we have something that I'm not going to say, but we might talk about it, or we might talk about it in an episode next. I have no idea. Anyways, we got beer, we got music, we got more. It's the Brunch Breakdown. Let's go.
Yeah. And where can you find the Brunch Breakdown? Everywhere. Everywhere, 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 everywhere. And we appreciate everywhere you have found the podcast this year. We really do appreciate it. So anywhere podcasts are available every Wednesday, hit follow, hit subscribe. A lot of people did that this year. They hit follow and they hit subscribe. We've got our own Spotify Wrapped for the pod. A lot of you hit follow and subscribe this year. So thank you and you're welcome. Makes it that easy. Episode comes straight to you. Straight to you. You don't have to go looking for it. And of course, if you want to watch the video episodes to see our three beautiful faces, you can watch those as well. They also come out on Wednesdays, but that's at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, on demand anytime you want to watch after that. Yes, also on Spotify. You boys were in the top 30% of all Spotify video podcasts in 2024. So again, you're welcome and thank you. We're everywhere on social media at Brunch Breakdown. And then, of course, don't forget, you follow, subscribe everywhere else. Don't forget the sounds of brunch. Same thing there. Follow that playlist. It's exclusively on Spotify, and we update it for you each and every Friday with this week's new music. And we keep last week's on there for you as well. For your listening pleasure.
Love it. Well, now it's time. Let's get random topics off our chests. Christopher, it's been a minute, dude. What's going on?
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I've realized over the past week is that I think Christmas smells are the best smells. And
Okay.
and I would love your thoughts and feedback as I rationalize this for you. But, we got the Christmas decorations up, right? We're ready to go for Christmas over here. And I just noticed throughout the week, like, everything I'm interacting with smells phenomenal. Okay. We have like this scented apple spice cinnamon stick kind of scented candle thing going on in the kitchen. Fantastic. Pine smells wonderful. Okay. That's why it's in air fresheners in cars across America. My wife bought like peppermint soap, smelled amazing. Okay. The other day was Saint Nicholas Day, Saint Nick's, whatever I don't know, whatever it is. The kids got stuff in their stockings. I got little chocolate peppermint can, and I bit into. I was like, oh, gentlemen. And Dan, you probably like it because you know what? Pumpkin spice can bleed into this season too. There's a lot
Hell
going
yeah.
on. There's a lot going on that's good, boys. There's a lot going on that's good, and I I don't think this merits further discussion unless you would like to say anything that's wrong, but I think Christmas has the best smells.
Okay, I understand this. I get it. I like it. But summer has the best smells for me. That's all.
Oh,
Yeah. It's summer.
he likes the smell of blue sky. That fresh,
I
fresh
love
blue
the
sky.
smell of barbecues.
That's
I
fair.
love
Okay.
going
Okay,
into
all right,
neighborhoods because it's like you in like June, July, August, like you just go anywhere
Summer.
in the country and you just smell barbecue. And I love the smell of barbecue. I don't know what those people are making on their barbecue, but it's just the smell of it. It's the best smell. Makes me so happy. I love it so much.
Yeah.
But yes, Christmas has, the best smells. But I will say I love the smell of summer. It just feels like it is officially summer when all of a sudden you just walk in you're in a random neighborhood, open your car door, barbecue.
Does that stop out there?
Yes, it does. It does because you know why? It's mainly because of when daylight savings happens. It really is like, okay,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's kind of annoying. Like
Sure.
grilling with a light is stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, you could do it, but that's what people ask me all the time. Like, oh man, you could grill all year. I'm like, man, nobody's trying to grill in the dark. It's not
Yeah.
cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like you come home from work or whatever, you get done. It's like 4 o'clock. All of a sudden, 4:30, it's pitch black. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm not grilling. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Chris. Christmas smells. And one might say, Dan, how could you? Fall, pumpkin spice. But to your point, that can bleed right into Christmas. And there's many more smells of Christmas than there are smells of fall. Fall is pumpkin, but then it's like leaves and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
what else? So yeah, no, I 100% with you. The smells everywhere. You walk into any store that has any Christmas decorations. I don't know what they're pumping in there. I don't know what they're doing.
Bro,
But it's working.
Every
It's working.
store every store has pine cones that smell fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why- they're not.
Tell
They
me
don't
about
got pine cones any other time of the year, but they break them out right now, and it's the best.
Order me a pallet. Put it in the truck. Let's go. Pallet it up. Well, a whole pallet of that all year
Yeah.
round. I'm with you. I like it.
Shout out to smelling season.
Well, we kind of talked about this last week, but we were like, what's the pumpkin spice of winter? Christopher, what is it? What is it for you? The one thing.
I think it's probably peppermint.
Okay. We
That's
came
kinda
to
where we
that
settled, right?
conclusion. That's where we were
Yeah.
at. Yeah. Peppermint. Because it was like, there's no other time that you eat peppermint. Like I said
Yeah.
chocolate because I feel like chocolate is a big deal, but then we just came to peppermint.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
cranberry, there's hot cocoa, but I
Yeah.
think we settled on peppermint being the
This is the
the
one.
best pick there. Yeah,
Same page.
'tis the season.
Tis. Dan, get it off your chest.
Yes, 'tis the season indeed, where we not only smell that familiar smell, but we also hear that all too familiar bell. Wow, that was a rhyme. I didn't even, not on purpose.
Bars.
We don't look at this. Here we go. And no, I am not talking about the bell from Santa's sleigh. I am not talking about the bell on the tip of the elf's little shoe.
Oh, I thought that was
at
gonna
the
rime.
mall or
I thought he was
whatever.
gonna rhyme the whole thing.
You thought I was just gonna
I
keep
thought he
going.
was gonna keep going. Yeah, I did.
I wish I had been more prepared for that. But the bell I'm referencing is the bell of that poor Salvation Army donation collector outside your friendly neighborhood grocery store, right? And listen, there's much to be said about the Salvation Army and what they do, who they help, blah, blah, blah. But in the year 2025, can we, in, I don't know, half of the country, maybe not out where you are, DD, but especially where we are here, could we come up with a better solution in 2025, other than letting these fragile people freeze their asses off outside the store? Like, we're still doing this. And they're usually older people, maybe a little more frail. They get cold easier, right? Right? That's science. It's a fact. right? And I have never even once seen like one of them with like a personal space heater, or maybe those ones that you see at the restaurants, the big propane ones. It would be nice if you just saw one of them standing over one of those. Maybe they think, oh, that's where the money's going, huh? Maybe that's why they let those poor people freeze. Right? I've never once seen that. Or better yet, no one really is carrying cash anymore, let alone change, right? People used to throw their loose change in there. You come out of the store, boom, here's the loose change. Why don't we just stick this sign inside the store, like at the entrance inside, right? It can look the same. You can look like it has the big bucket on it, but maybe we throw a QR code up there, right? And just have people donate in that way. Much more realistic in 2025. Heck, let's throw a little speaker on there too. A little Bluetooth, maybe a little ding of that little bell. Get a little nostalgia so that part doesn't go away, right? And let's let those older people stay warm somewhere else and just maybe logging it on a computer somewhere. Maybe we're enhancing their skills a little bit later in life, right? Computer friendly. We're people helping people, right? That's what it's all about. People helping people. Some traditions are fantastic and great and should never change, especially like this time of year, right? But I think there are small things we can do to make this look a little less like 1965 versus 2025. And I think that's where we should start.
I want to hear what Didi has to say because I really in my heart feel like me and him are going to have the same response to what you just said. But I want to go ahead, Didi.
Let's find out.
Okay, so there's two ways I could go with this. I'm gonna pick this one first. Dan, you work for a big company that has all of our money. Why don't you go into the boardroom and tell them to help out these people? You have the power to change. Like Chris works for like a third-rate university. I work for myself. I can't help, but you can. You know what I mean? Like you can actually help these people. So why don't you go in there on Monday morning, slam your whatever down on the table and say, we need to help the Salvation Army. Let's get this done. Do it.
I didn't see that coming. I did not. I was not ready for that.
That is not the way I thought Didi was going to go with it.
You're gonna enact change, man.
Like Chris, that's not what you were going to say, was it?
No. And by the way, Didi's become, he got a lot more vocal about Pitt once we started losing football games. I don't remember Didi being as vocal about Pitt football ever in the history of this podcast, but we on a 5-game losing streak and he can't shut up about it. What I thought he was going to say and what I am going to say is there's a lot right about what you said, Dan, but I don't have an emotional connection to the QR code. I do feel more compelled. I just did this the other day at Cannonsburg Light Up Night. I do feel more compelled to put a $5 bill in that bucket when it is either like a small child or an old woman or both of them ringing the bell. I'm just like, I know this money's not even going to them, but you know what? They look like they need it. And somebody else probably needs it too, and I'm going to put it in that bucket. And I bet that's probably why they still do it, because otherwise, like, put a bucket there and then just say, like, Cash App, whatever, and save some frostbite this holiday season. But I think people are more emotional about the old lady.
I'm with you, and that was like the other thing that I was gonna say. So you were
don't backtrack now, Didi.
You were dead on there because we went to a Christmas festival last night, and is industry open house, whatever, in this neighborhood, and it was cool. But there were Salvation Army people there, but also on the flyers everywhere that like where we saw this, like on Instagram and whatever, it said this is a cashless event.
Yep.
And they have the Salvation Army people there.
So I'm saying.
Just to let you know. And it's like, and you see these people outside of Macy's. Like we went to the movies like a couple weeks ago. And I parked outside of Macy's. I go and see the Salvation Army guy. And I'm like, if Macy's is going to have these people there and they're going to promote that they have these people there, they need to be like, yo, like we're giving you cash all a week or something. Like you can't like I don't know how like why you have them outside whenever like everybody's paying with their card to do everything or paying with their phone or whatever to do every single thing. And like we went to a cashless event last night and the Salvation Army ringers were there. They told us not to bring cash.
That's a great point because
they hate people in need. That's what is really happening there.
A lot of people don't carry cash around with them anymore unless they know they're going to need it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to a grocery store or Macy's, you don't think you're going to need it. So they need to have alternatives. Maybe we got to meet in the middle somewhere. You could still do the cash, but give me some sort of digital. Also, I don't like people, and I'd rather give money when there's nobody around. It's not about the spotlight. I don't showboat. I don't showboat for the old lady. Here you go. What? Look at me. Look at me. Am I dropping my money? I'd rather you be warm, cozied up in a bed somewhere, ma'am, and I will just do this on my own without the attention. Just some food for thought.
I'm out there showboating, brother. I'm out. Hey, check this out, Nana. I'm putting a.
You're like, yeah. You're like, you look like the old woman from Home Alone 2, and here you go.
Oh my God.
This is for your turtle doves.
Oh God. All right.
Go ahead, Dee. Over to you.
Get this off my chest.
This should be the whole show. Why do we have to?
Why should
we just change the name of the podcast?
Because I'm like, all right, because actually, all right, this isn't what I have to get off my chest, but you just mentioned Home Alone. Have you guys see the commercial last year with like Kevin McAllister's mom and Kevin Hart? She's yelling Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one for this year? Oh my God, I've said this like 4 people. No one's seen it. Like, guys,
I don't think so.
It's amazing.
Is it different?
Yes, it's different. So she's yelling Kevin, and there's like the movie voiceover guys in the background. It's like, but this year it's starring Kevin, and then it goes to Kevin Garnett. Then it's like and Kevin, and then it goes to Kevin Hart, and then and Kevin, and it's Macaulay Culkin, and the guy goes, oh, oops, Macaulay. It's hilarious. Commercial's amazing. It's just great.
Jeez, I haven't seen that.
It's just great. So get your Christmas commercial on. It's there. It's great. All right, so I gotta get this off my chest. Like I said, went to a Christmas festival last night. Good times till the kids started melting down at around like 7:00, and then had to throw them all in the wagon and to drag them out of there. Right? Not but it was a good time. So I just want to say this: don't bring your dogs to a Christmas festival, specifically a Christmas festival at night, because then you're going to accidentally bump into dogs. Right? And you're going to have dogs and strollers, and you're going to have dogs in your way. Like, leave your dog at home. The best thing, because you know what would have been awesome with this Christmas festival? If I could have left my kids at home. Not get a babysitter, because it's not worth that. That's not that kind of night. It's just like, I'd rather just walked through with my wife, held her hand, had the fake snow falling, just been nice, right? But no, I got my kids with me. The best thing about having a dog is you can leave it at home. Leave your dog at home. Like, I don't understand why, and the amount of people that I saw holding their dogs, I don't know when as a society we decided that it was okay for people to act like their dogs were their babies. It's fine to be like, I have a dog. You have a dog. Great, you have a dog. That's awesome. Be dog people. But your dog's not a baby. It shouldn't be in a stroller. It shouldn't be in your arms. It should be walking on the ground. It also shouldn't be at a Christmas festival at night. It should be at home. Tearing up your house or in a cage or somewhere, it shouldn't be there. Because I have a feeling the dog doesn't want to be there either. Like, it's stupid. There are too many dogs at this festival last night, but the festival was great. Shouts to Hungry Village, but no. Dogs, leave them at home. Leave them at home. That's it.
Wow.
I couldn't agree more with you, Dee.
Chris and Dee, notably not dog people.
But
so this is wheelhouse for you guys.
Yeah, but like people who have dogs then get real jammed up about it. Have your dog.
They do. Yeah, we're going to be hearing about it.
Enjoy your dog. Like, I don't give a shit. But it's when your dog comes into people places, then I have a problem with that. I told a story a year or two ago about like people brought their dogs to the splash pad and then the kids couldn't play in the water. Like, what are you doing? Okay. When I went to the Cannonsburg thing, Didi, we had the same experience. My kids they never even had a bad experience with dogs, but they're terrified of dogs. And somebody comes we're constantly seeing dogs, and they're like like scared of them, and then like somebody comes rolling down the street with two greyhounds, and that's when we left. Actually, that's when we left.
Those are dinosaurs to children.
Take them to the racetrack. Like, what's going on here, bro? Yeah. I have no problem with dogs. I have no problem with people who like dogs. I have no problem with people who like dogs doing things with their dogs. But there are also just people things.
Yep. It's the crowds that bothers me. It's just like, why do you have them? It's crowds of people trying to walk through places. You know what I mean? And it's just, you add a dog, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, why? It just makes it more congested, more annoying, and just
And then your dog is in Grandpa Joe's candy shop, and my kids are terrified, and they can't buy candy because you brought your dog. Like, what are we doing?
It is interesting. You know, it's very funny, Chris, that you mentioned jokingly, like, why do we even have topics? The Get It Off Your Chest segment, when we started this podcast, I don't know how many years ago, was literally, we were supposed to take 60 seconds each. That was the instruction, was take 60 seconds and get something off your chest this week, and then we'll move into the menu. And now it's more than half the show.
Yeah, and that's why we have leftovers episodes, because we never get to
right. Yep. And that's why Dee doesn't mention topics that we might not get to, because it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. People are like, yep, heard that last week. Still not covering it, guys.
You know, you could view that as a bad thing, or you could view it as, we all have such compelling things to say that it warrants deep, substantive conversation, which I feel like we're having here today. So that's a good thing.
They're like, guys, 30 minutes on smells and dogs is just a little heavy. Like,
and the Salvation Army. Hey,
yeah,
hey.
yeah,
Right.
those
Hey,
little old ladies. Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, I had to get off my chest. So leave your dogs at home, folks. And let's get into beer. Let's get into some brews. I'll start here. So last night at the Christmas festival, I had an Aperol Spritz. It was very nice while walking through. But I didn't realize that would be such a nice little drink for Christmas. I think I might just start making them at home. Pretty legit. So shouts to Aperol Spritzes, and John and Benny's, the amazing Italian restaurant. They had a booth there, and it was awesome. So yeah, check it out.
there you go. Nice. Chris, what do you got for us?
My wife bought like 2 pallets of Untitled Art.
Oh, nice.
So you're going to be hearing
Goodness.
a lot about
Beautiful.
that.
Beautiful.
And Dan, since you're close by, if anything sounds interesting, I can save you one. Last night, I had something called Riwaka. It's a IPA from Untitled Art. Riwaka hops. And so I'm going to read this off the internet because I'd never heard of them before. Riwaka hops are from New Zealand. Okay, these are words that I don't understand. Maybe Dan does. It's an aroma hop that is typically used in only late boil additions, including dry hopping. To me and Dee, I think if you tell us dry hopping, we're thinking about something else. We're not thinking about beer. The rest of the information I can share with you is that it's, Dee will also know what I'm talking about here. It's fueled by tropical passion fruit. So when you're fueled by passion fruit and you're out there dry hopping, I can't think of a better beer, boys. Okay, so Riwaka IPA from Untitled Art got 5 stars from me on Untapped if I had the Untapped app. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay.
Sounds like
There you
my
go.
20s right there.
Yeah.
Let's go. Woo. Passion.
Yeah.
Woo. Passion fruit and dry hopping. Let's get it.
I'll tell you what, the New Zealand hops becoming very popular. Becoming very, very popular. The variants of the New Zealand hops. So yeah, keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out for more of that. I love it. I love it. Well, I've got a special one this week. One of our favorite breweries here in Pittsburgh, Hitchhiker, very popular on Brews Day, every year re-releases a collaboration they do with a brewery, Microphone, I think it is, out of Chicago. called Oreo Speedwagon. And it's an Oreo, stout. Very, very popular. Very, very popular. Very, very hard to find. Oreo Speedwagon. Well, this year, they saved some. It did a little something, something on their own, out of nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, the candy cane Oreo Speedwagon.
Okay.
A chocolate milkshake imperial stout with Oreos and the scent of the season, peppermint. It is so damn good. Like, this is the beer for this season. Oreos, peppermint. I couldn't have dreamed it to be any better. I was so nervous going in to try it. I'm like, boy, this needs to come through. This really needs to be strong because the Oreo Speedwagon is already great as it is. Give me candy cane and peppermint in with it. Bravo. Bravo, Hitchhiker. Well done. This needs to be a regular seasonal appearance. The candy cane Oreo Speedwagon. Marvelous. Just marvelous.
Perfect timing.
This is a great can.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like looking
Beautiful.
at it right now.
Yeah.
This is great. Yeah. And also, people make milkshakes with Oreos and call it the Oreo Speedwagon. So that's something that I did not know.
Okay. All right.
So,
There we go.
I mean, the name makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's fun.
Perfect.
Oreo Speedwagon. Nice.
Love it. Love it.
Well, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Now let's get to the main menu.
Oh, yeah. That old thing.
Yeah, that old thing, that thing that we're here for. All right. So everyone got their Spotify Wraps this week, or Apple Music replays, or whatever this week, and we decided to do something different and wrap our lives a little bit. So who wants to start? Who wants to get it going? Dan, go. Who wants or me? Oh, it was my topic, right?
It's your idea, man.
It was
You
my
gotta lead
idea.
us
So
off.
let's get it. Okay, so
Lay
here we
it
go.
on us.
Here are the things that came to my mind first off. And I actually did a little bit of research on a couple of these. Some I did
Okay.
not, but a little bit of research. All right. So I went to see Chelsea Cutler this week, and I was like, wait, I've seen Chelsea Cutler twice this year. Time spent watching Chelsea Cutler in concert, 210 minutes. All right.
Woo! That's heavy.
Starbucks venti coffees ordered, 157. I actually did research on this. I was going through the app. I was like, whoa, it's like $450. I was like,
Ooh.
what am I doing?
Ooh. That's hard to hear it that way.
I don't know the time I spent in my car, but I know miles driven this year, 11,656. I spent a lot of time in my car. And last, little bit of research here, but not exactly accurate. Minutes spent at Chuck E. Cheese, 1,800 minutes spent at Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, because I was going through text messages and I was like, 50. I was like, how many times did Siobhan say Chuck E. Cheese to me in a text message this year? And it was like 15 times. And so I was like, that makes about sense. That makes sense. So I was like, we're there for usually like 2 hours. Yeah. 1,800.
So roughly 30 hours this year.
Yeah, that's 30 hours.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. A lot of time. A lot of time.
More than once a month for 2 hours at a time.
Yes, we had like they put
Gotta
out
get a membership there, brother.
Well, no, we do. That's the thing. They put out this summer pass that was like you paid a certain amount and it was like unlimited. You just went to Chuck E. Cheese, you got all the things put on your card, and you just went. And it was crazy hot this summer. So it just ended up being like that's where they're going. Is like somebody would hit somebody up. It's like some parent would be like, hey, go on to Chuck E. Cheese because it's gonna be like 110 today. I'm like, all right, going to Chuck E. Cheese too. And so it just ended up we all had the pass, so we all were just going to Chuck E. Cheese all the time. But yeah. So
It's also the most efficient way to have a birthday party.
100%.
So everybody has their
Place
birthday
is still
party.
kicking it, man. That place is still kicking it.
Dude.
It survived the pandemic. That's incredible.
Yep. They
Now they're
modernized it like
installing-
this much.
Yeah, now they're installing trampolines, like DD said. I saw one of those. We went there when we were in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, dude. They just modernized it like this much. And it was pretty freaking great. Yeah. I mean, Saoirse had her birthday party there. So we've been to Chuck E. Cheese a lot. Spent a lot of time. A lot of time there. So yeah, that's my life. That's my life wrapped, guys.
I love it. I love it. Well done. Well done. I'll jump in. I'll give you a couple from my year of 2024. Didi, you went specific with minutes seeing Chelsea Cutler perform. I've got you total concerts attended in 2024.
Nice.
15.
Woo. Okay.
15. I don't know if I was surprised at that number or not. It seemed low. I don't know. It felt low. Let me put it that way. It felt low, but that's a lot. Still, it's certainly more than once a month. I changed jobs this year, so my commute has changed on how I get to and from work. I used to drive, and now I take public transportation. But one thing that remains consistent, regardless of if I'm driving or if I'm on a train and somebody else is driving, the amount of times that I've gone and just sighed so deeply during a commute, 237 this year, just laying out a big often public transportation is supposed to be reliable. It is not. The size still coming through. Minutes spent listening to any of the country songs a la Luke Bryan, Shabuzi, whoever that you boys put on the sounds of brunch. 0 0 minutes. It came in 0 flat. No research necessary. Okay. I had that one in the memory. All right. 2 more. This one I found, I hope you find interesting. Hot dogs eaten versus hot dogs watched being eaten.
Oh my.
Okay. So I ballparked hot dogs eaten at 12 for me. I ballparked it at 12 versus watching 149 hot dogs be eaten in the amazing head-to-head Kobayashi Joey Chestnut winner take all competition. Combined 149. I watched, witness, eaten, and I took down 12 myself this year. So really puts things into perspective. I'll tell you that. And I also feel like I could consume more hot dogs. When you think about it, 12 a year, that's nothing. That's nothing, brother. I have to tell you, when I'm usually eating them, it's not one at a time. There's usually multiple involved. So I need to up my hot dog consumption. Anyways, and then finally, yeah, there you go. Top brunch dishes types. Top brunch dishes that I've consumed this year. The types of dishes. Number 1 would be the Benedict, a regular appearance on my brunch. The Benedict. Number 2 would be the hash / scramble, if you will. Also a very regular appearance on the brunch menu. And then rounding it out with tacos. Breakfast tacos, brunch tacos. Those are the popular 3. So everybody has their most songs, top 5 songs. Those are the top 3 brunch kind of food dish categories, if you will, that were popular for me in 2024.
Dan, how much vacation do you get a year?
20 days of paid vacation. 23. It's 23. They categorize it differently. So
okay,
I call
so
it
then
yeah.
If you do the math,
If you do the math, I'll do the Alfredo.
50
Remember that commercial?
52 weeks a year, 5 working days a week ends up to be 260 working days a year. If you take the 23 vacation days out of that, that is 237, which is the same amount of size, which means you side every single day going to work.
That is so wild because I just like threw that number out, like roughly.
But in your heart, you
and you're telling me it's the exact number of days that I worked in a year. It's the same exact number.
Yeah,
that's kind of creepy. That's kind of creepy, but accurate. But accurate. I mean, some days it'll be fine and I won't sigh, and other days multi-sigh.
Multiple.
Yeah.
There's probably like a few of those like, what do we get? Labor Day off. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, a couple of those. But there's the days where, one red light, sigh. Another red light, sigh. People driving like idiots. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for that. Looking into that.
It's a lot of deep breaths. Well, we're all about accurate statistics over here, and I'm glad that some Joey Chestnut analytics ended up in your life wrapped. I approached mine kind of differently. I don't have specific numbers for you boys, but I did
okay.
confer with wife Katie on these 3 categories that I was most focused on. Top 3 to 5 places visited in the past year, and you're going to see
go.
there's a theme here in my life wrapped. I came up with 4. The first one, the rec center / pool, lots of time. Lots of time sitting at that pool, both indoor and outdoor. Okay, so it provides all year time. My favorite restaurant, Typhoon. That's on the list. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about amount of times visited. Also on the list, no shock to anybody who listens to the Brunch Breakdown regularly, the doctor. The doctor is definitely the doctor's definitely on the list. And
the doctor, the good doctor,
the big doctor.
the big doctor.
And the last one, while it's only for a season of the year, it still definitely falls in there. Pit football. 7 games, right? 7 games a year, 7 times to Acrisure Stadium. D, you can keep your mouth shut.
7
Okay.
wins on the season. 7, 7, 7, 7.
Hey. They,
Here comes number 8.
yeah, can't wait. Okay. Category number 2. I came up with time spent doing mind-numbing things. Okay. And I came up with 3 in particular. Number 1, doing the dishes. Boys, doing the dishes. I did not add up the time, but we're talking like 30 minutes probably a day, 20 to 30 minutes a day. The dishes take no time off. Okay. We're talking about every day of the week. That's a lot of time spent craning over that stupid sink in the kitchen. Laundry. The more kids you have, it just never stops. You just constantly wash and fold and wash and fold. And every time I'm downstairs lifting weights, I'm also doing laundry. So that time spent is very high as well. And then the winner that takes the cake, trying to get my kids to go to sleep at night is number 1 when it comes to mind-numbing time spent. Okay. And I don't want to put a number on that. I don't want to do the research, but I know that it's very, 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 very high. Okay. It's high. It's high. My last one, time spent at places. This one's a bit happier for the most part. While we were only there for a week, Disney World. That never stops when you're there. And it was a great time, but holy hell, like I felt like the entire year was spent at Disney World. FaceTime. Again, the more kids you have, the more time you just spend on FaceTime talking to people, which is great. But I spent a lot of time on FaceTime. I probably could, I guess, dig that statistic up, but I didn't. And then the last one, pit football. That's on the list once again. I could have put that into mind-numbing time spent, and I thought about it. I thought about putting that into that category, but actually most of it that we saw, Dan, was actually pretty positive, and then things fell apart. So those were my 3 wrapped categories. Been really focused on how I'm spending my time this year. Because you know, as they say, time is money. Money is time. And I am wasting a lot of money between the hours of 6 and 8 p.m. trying to get my kids to go to sleep. Okay. One would say I'm in debt. That's it.
See, just got to start spending that time at Great Wolf Lodge.
There you go.
Most money I've spent this year. Great Wolf Lodge, trip number 3. So
There you go.
Yeah, Didi, if you're going to bring it up again, get a discount code, please. Okay.
Yeah.
it's just the
And to
best
put a
place
wrap-
in the world.
To put a wrapped on this unwrapped, I have a bonus one that includes all 3 of us. Times Chris has been absent from the podcast in 2014.
Here we go.
13.
Is that real?
13 times. That's real. That's real. 13
You know,
times.
that
I'm gonna be
doesn't-
honest. That's a high. That's higher than I thought. That's higher than I thought.
That doesn't sound so bad to me, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be higher than that, honestly.
That's got to be better than the year before.
13 out of like 4. I mean, I don't know. 40.
Well, it's 52
We've missed a few, and we're not at 52 yet. So 49 weeks, 40, maybe 45. 13 out of 45.
Okay.
What's your shooting percentage there, guy? That's not good. That's not good.
But In baseball, is it good?
I'm passing. That's a passing grade. Hey, C's get degrees, okay?
I mean,
You miss over 28.
listen,
Yeah, 29%. You miss.
he's batting 309 though.
So I'm a Hall of Fame baseball player. What else, Dan?
So what does that put me and Didi? Well, me.
But you gotta analyze
Gold
the
glove.
trend.
Yeah.
You gotta analyze a trend. Like how is an
Go back to last year.
how is an athlete trending? I consider myself to be an athlete. I'm sure you guys consider yourselves to be the same. That number has to be better than the year before. Meanwhile, Dan, you missed exponentially more episodes this year than you did
Oh.
last year. You're trending
That's
downward.
true.
You're trending
true.
downward. Your career is
That's
in
true.
decline. I'm that new hot young star that's just on the rise, which I tell
Ooh,
myself every day when I look in the mirror. I
don't
tell
know.
myself that.
The fact that you were pleased with 13 it says a lot. You were like, oh, thought it was worse.
I don't know, man. I'm impressed by 13. I truly thought it was higher. I thought it was higher.
Really?
So
I was counting through and I was like,
surprised.
damn, I didn't think we were going to hit 10.
Dan,
I'm surprised.
we've already been over this. Okay, we've already been over this.
Listen, I'm just here to share the facts. That's
what
all.
your attendance was in
That's all.
high school as compared to other people. Okay, it's just not like you can't hold other people to that same standard. Okay, me and Didi miss class sometimes.
Like,
Oh, he just lipped you into that, Didi.
He did, but listen, I don't miss as much as him. But it's
But
you know,
Didi said Didi said my number was pleasing to him, so I'm just trying to bring him into
nice.
the.
Listen, it's a nice number. It kind of reminds me of
It's a nice number.
Dan Marino wore that number.
like I don't know if you guys have felt this way, but like the beginning of the football NFL season, it was like everyone was like fire the Eagles coach. Like, get rid of everything. Jalen Hurts is the worst quarterback in the league. Everybody's got to go. And then all of a sudden, they're like 9-2. And I was like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Chris's record. It's a pleasant surprise. I was like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they had way more losses than that. They don't. Chris, right there. That's the 13.
Thank you. It's like if I could offer another analogy here, because I think it would be best if we only get through one topic today.
I was gonna say we had to at least get one more. And geez.
imagine going into the Steelers season and not knowing who the quarterback is and having two guys come in that are like kind of trash, and you're like, this is gonna be a terrible season. Then you wake up and they're 9-3. That's me.
That's you.
I'm Mike Tomlin. I'm Nick Sirianni.
Wow. Now we have completely lost this. No. Let's go back to talking about peppermint.
I'm Mike Sirianni.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. You're Nick's brother, Mike.
For everybody listening, sports brunch next week.
Are we recording?
Fire. Just get ready. Just get ready. Just get ready. All right. I did have one last one. I wasn't going to put this on here because I didn't want to be a dick, but like, you know what? It's fine. The way this show's going, it's good.
Are you kidding me?
Days spent in the cold, 0.
Oh.
Here's how I know this, because the coldest day in Los Angeles this year, 42 degrees.
Well, I think
When that's a high here, we're like, ooh, light jacket.
I walked out of church this morning and it was 44, and I was like, hey.
Thank goodness, yeah.
I don't know. I know we don't have time, but I want to unpack that. Well, I kind of want to unpack that one a little bit because,
we do, yeah.
42, and I get it. You're looking at the numbers, but like Didi, how many times have you said to yourself in your head, like a little, you know what? I'm kind of cold.
Oh, time spent saying that I was cold. That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact
anything
number.
under 60 for
That's a lot of
60
time.
degrees. That's
Oh yeah, that's a lot of time. Like
Yeah.
it's very weird knowing you grew up somewhere else and raising kids here, because I'm like, oh guys, like you got to get your big coats out. It's like 45 degrees. And like they're wearing their like big coats to school, so are all their friends. You see this parade of big coats, and then you get in the car. You're like, wait, what the?
What have I become?
What if I have kids who grew up in Southern California. Like that's where they're growing up. It's just these little things keep hitting me from time to time. It's like, wow, different existence.
Like when they gave your kids blankets at that
Oh yeah,
like,
4th of July or
festival.
something like that.
It wasn't 4th of July. It was like April, okay? But
Yeah.
4th of July. Here's a blanket. It's 78. Here's a blanket. Poor. Meanwhile, again, the Salvation Army person's out there in 13 degrees with barely a coat on, and we're sending blankets to California, for crying out loud.
It all comes full circle. It all comes back.
It does.
California's hoarding all the blankets of the Salvation Army. All right, let's get to another topic, guys. Chris, you said you have something, a follow-up question. Let's get it.
I do. I have a follow-up to a previous topic that we talked about a while ago now. Didi, do you remember when you brought up the fact that like Al Bundy was supposedly our age?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I learned this week. I'll bring up a photo here.
Uh-oh.
I learned this week that not only was he acting somebody who was intended to be our age, this man was our age when acting in this movie. Did you know Tim Allen was 39?
No way. No way.
39.
Come on.
Shut your
When he
face.
filmed the Santa Claus, the OG Santa Claus,
When
he was
filmed-
actually 39.
Yes.
What year was this?
94.
Get
Like,
out.
did the older
So he's like,
generation
wow, he's
just
old
like,
now.
did they just like do a bunch of drugs that made them all look way older than us? Because Didi, you are 39 and he looks 15 years older than you.
Get out of here.
Yeah. That's an old man in that photo.
Right?
Scott Calvin.
That's the young, not Santa yet Scott Calvin.
Right. Oh, yes. We should. If anybody that's listening is probably like,
yes.
you're looking at a picture of Santa Claus, you idiots. No, it's.
Yes.
You're not
even
watching
think
and just listening. Yes, it is a picture of Tim Allen in the OG Santa Claus as Scott Calvin. Full head of brown hair, but not looking 39. I'll say that.
We look so much younger than him.
Yeah. Like anybody watching right now, look at the screen. Look at the three of us and look over there. That's insane.
Yeah.
I am blown away by this. And also, it just has me thinking, like, they talk so much about, like, how the food we grew up on is so bad. Everything is so terrible. And all the food from back in the day, because they didn't have all this place to process food and do all these things with food that keep food around for so long, like it's not supposed to be, like, natural or whatever. And I just look at all these people, and I'm like, what are we, like, we look younger than you guys, and you say our food is so bad and it's making everybody so bad and it's making everybody so terrible. I'm like, what? Maybe processed foods are good for you.
Well, clearly the metric ton of Starburst I ate growing up didn't make me look worse, at least. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I remember being like, Surge has yellow 5 in it, man. They got to take it off the market. I drink a lot of Surge. A lot of Surge.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
What in the hell?
I'm shook.
I
And
really
without
am.
speech. I'm without speech.
it's one thing to display somebody at that age, whether or
Right.
not they are that age, but then it's a whole other thing for somebody to be that age. And we are that age. And like the amount of
guess we
saggy skin and the amount of wrinkles and I just like we
I
it
guess
had
we
me
should
to
feel
the
good about
point-
ourselves, right?
Yeah,
we should feel
I
good
think
about
so.
this.
I feel
I-
good.
I'm like startled, but I feel like we should be feeling good. And I'm not there yet.
I think so. And it was to the point where, like, at church today, as people were going to get communion, I was sitting there, I was looking, I was like, that guy looks older than me, but like, what age is he? You know, I was like picking dudes apart. I was like, is he my age? Do we all look younger? Do I just podcast with three unbelievably handsome, young looking people? Or like,
I mean, yeah.
is our
Yes.
generation younger looking than the previous one? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it
I
out.
think yes to all of it, all of the above. Yes,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think all could be true.
it's just true. I don't know. But then also, I saw a picture of somebody I went to high school with, and I was like, huh,
It's not everybody. It's definitely not everybody. I think generationally mostly, but it's not everybody.
But then it makes me wonder, though. It's like, do I look younger and they look the age that I'm supposed to be? Or do they look, because in my head, I'm always, because people will be like, oh, yeah, you look so young. How have you done all these things? I'm like, well, I'm not young, dude. And so, and I feel like I'm always saying that. And because I know, I'm like, I'm 39, I'm about to be 40. I feel that way. I've got 3 kids and a mortgage and all these other things. I don't feel like I'm 20, right? So I always
Yeah.
think, all right, that person must look 45 or that person must look 50 or something. But maybe it's the opposite. And it's like they look
Interesting.
39 and I don't look 39. So I like it really like throws me off.
I think we have homework
Yeah.
for this week. For this
Yeah.
week in between podcasts is like pay attention to people, pay attention specifically to dudes our age and report back
Yeah.
next week about do they all look younger than Tim Allen in the Santa Claus? Or
That's the barometer right there. There's your standard.
yeah.
Yeah. Over under Scott Calvin. Yeah. What do you look like? Yeah, like you like need to like look for photos of our parents at our age and compare.
I think
Yeah.
it was older, man. I really
I think
do.
I think it was older, but we'll have to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay. Oh man. All
I was
right.
not ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that either. I'm like, my mind is going crazy right now. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? All right. Well, let's get into music, boys. Since there's
Well done again.
well done. Well done on getting through the topics, guys. We'll get the weirdest things we saw on the internet this week at some point. Anyways,
Yep.
let's get into music. Dan, what are you listening to?
Yeah, geez, seriously. Lauren Mayberry, the lead singer of Churches, she's put out a few solo singles this year that have made its way to the playlist. But her first ever solo album came out this week called Vicious Creature, and it's awesome. It definitely steps outside of kind of the Churches sound, a little bit more pop forward, but it still has those. It's a really well produced album. Right, it has those elements. It's really well produced. So I'll throw Crocodile Tears on the playlist this week from that album. But check out the whole album. Fantastic.
She said something very interesting when promoting the album that like she had to like learn how to be on stage, and she was like, I've been trying to not be she was like trying not to be like sexy or trying not to be like a woman on stage, and she said she feels like it should be a woman now, and I found that to be interesting. I was like, oh. Yeah, 'cause I guess you're like in a band full of dudes and you're like trying to be respected or whatever. And she's like, yeah, like dance moves that I like wanted to do, I felt like I couldn't do and all this stuff. So I was like, oh, just never heard that perspective before. So that was
100%. Yep.
yeah. Anyways, Chris, what you listen to?
I've been in my Wrapped. The Wrapped thing is always fascinating to me, man, because like it helps me remember songs that I was listening to at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? Like I easily forget about that 6 months later. So a few of them, I'll start with from a band called Honey Creek, which is from the great state of Wisconsin. Their song Dollar Signs. I think I discovered them last year, but they put out a new album at the beginning of this year, and I loved it and then totally forgot about it. So that's my first one.
Yeah, dude, a lot of people are mad about their raps this year. They're saying that they're inaccurate, and I always say it's inaccurate. So I always am like, that's just not right. Like I think I listen to stuff more than it says. That's where I always think it's wrong. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I listen to this more, but whatever. Anyhow, Quinn92 put out the third part of his breakfast, lunch, and dinner series, which is now all together as one album, and it's super good. I've loved all of these, and so I'm gonna put on the playlist Mirror with Arden Jones. Think it's really good. That's on this last dinner part, and yeah, it's just really good. So check it out. Quinn92's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. all in one album now. Check it out.
Yes, love it. In fact, I had that too. So I'll throw something different. Maybe I'll, when that got kind of packaged as one full release, it allowed me to go back and listen to Natural High with Alan Stone and like Quinn 92 and Alan Stone. Gravy, baby. Gravy. Yeah. So I'll probably throw that one back on there then, but love it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. You're up.
Christopher.
No, Dan, it's you.
I just gave
said
it to
it.
you.
Oh, he
I just
did it all
both.
in one.
Is this on?
He was very efficient with his.
Yes. Dee Dee took mine, so I put on a different one.
I was paying attention. I just wasn't paying attention closely because, kids that miss 13 days of school a year, sometimes, you're not fully there when you're in class.
You get an I, an incomplete.
I've never gotten an I, Dan. If I was close to getting one, I'd drop that class like a...
Right. I was never here.
Pretend you never saw me. My second one, another one from the beginning of this year from a band called Crooked Teeth. It's called Our Favorite Song. It's just catchy. You're going to be thinking about it after you listen to it. That's all.
So, like I said, went to see Jeremy Zucker and Chelsea Cutler on their Brent tour, which is a 3-part EP that they have put out, and they played all these songs. They had a string section. They had 3 violinists, a cellist. It was like really cool to watch this like laid back show. But A-Frame is just so good, and I know you put A-Frame on the playlist a while back, but it's just that song live is something. Like it just feels different. It's awesome. So A-Frame, Jeremy Zucker, and Chelsea Cutler.
Jealous. Super, super jealous. Actually, look at this. I'm just on a roll today. My final song of the week is called Jealous, and it's by our girls at the Aces.
Hey.
They just keep putting out hit after hit. And you know what? Like, can't stop, won't stop. You probably, if you're sick of the Aces, then you're an idiot. But they're just going to keep showing up on this playlist. It's going to happen. It's not going to stop. This is another great song. It's catchy. It's kind of dancey almost. So the Aces with Jealous.
Nice.
I think for my last one, I'm gonna put Eternal Boy on the playlist because they put out a new album this year. It's definitely in my like top albums of the year. So I'll pick a song from that, but they were my second most listened to artist from the year. So
nice.
Friends, number 2 on my list. I feel like I should shout them out.
Yeah.
Dude, brunchies are coming, baby. Brunchies are coming. Can't wait. All right. Last one. Like I said last week, I've been listening to a ton of this Ariana Grande album that came out earlier in the year. And this album is just so good. Like I don't know, but I'm putting Supernatural on the playlist because I just love this song. So anyways, yeah, that's what we got. And that's what we're listening to, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check out the playlist on Spotify, updated with 2 weeks of songs. And it's updated weekly. So make sure you check that out. Tell Siri, tell Alexa to play the sounds of brunch. Boys, any final thoughts today on this raucous brunch breakdown?
My first thought was my final thought. It's just, if it's brown, flush it down. That's all I'm thinking about today. Okay.
And we really should we just rename this podcast Get It Off Your Chest, because it takes over the entire show, and the menu just is. I feel bad for the menu every once in a while.
We've never done a Get It Off Your Chest brunch breakdown episode where we literally just get things off our chest for an entire.
We probably should. Yeah, we probably should do that.
Yeah. Mark that on the list for next year. Our schedule is kind of booked up until the end of the year, but first episode in January.
There we go.
First episode of 2025. We're just getting.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
And that's the brunch breakdown. We're out.